Suppers families, this is Ashley and I'm part of the program Simple Suppers, and today I'm going to show you how to make Sloppy Garden Joes with a cucumber salad for the side and then an easy fruit salad for dessert. So before you begin, you'll want to gather all of your ingredients. For this recipe, for the Sloppy Joes, you'll need to have onion, lean ground beef or ground turkey. This is ground beef that we'll be using. You can have a different assortment of vegetables. Today we'll be using yellow onion, a carrot. You could use a green bell pepper, but we're going to be using a zucchini instead because that's what we had on hand. Crushed tomatoes, black pepper to taste, tomato sauce, mushrooms, and then we're also going to put some barbecue sauce in there, and then serve it on whole wheat buns. Then for our cucumber salad, we'll use half of a cucumber, and then we'll chop up our red onion, and we'll also add a little bit of the balsamic vinaigrette. And then finally for our fruit salad, we're going to have an apple, orange, banana, and then also use a no sugar added fruit cocktail. So now I'm going to chop up all of my produce and get that ready so I don't have to worry about it when I'm cooking the Sloppy Joes. I am going to first start with my yellow onion. And so this recipe calls for one small yellow onion, so I'm just going to use half of this onion because it's really, really big. You can use a whole onion if you really like onions, but from my previous experience, sometimes that doesn't happen. People don't like yellow onions, so we'll just do half. Take that skin off. And so when you cut it, make sure that you curl your fingers back so that you don't accidentally cut yourself. So now that I have my bowl, I'm just going to drop my onions in. Now that I've washed my zucchini, I'm going to cut it, so I always just cut the tops off, and then I cut the bottom, and then I like to cut it in half, and then I carefully cut it long ways, so I have flat edges, and I'll do the same for the bottom, and then I'll cut it in half again. And then I'll just run my blade through. Okay. I'm going to cut my carrot. So I have, okay, then cut that. Garbage. So I'm going to cut it in half and then cut again in half. Carrots can be really tricky, so I always like to have my thumb parallel to the carrot, and then I just slide my knife through. That way I don't have to worry about like it rolling because I'm keeping it steady, and then you can just run your blade through your carrot. So I'm going to take this cucumber, and I only need half, so I'll just get rid of this half, and then cut it. We'll do, let's see, go right down the middle. We'll leave the seeds in. So I just cut it in fourth again, or in half again. Just run my knife through. Okay, and now I'm going to add to my bowl. And just spread it out because we're going to mix it together. Put this off to the side. Next, I'm going to cut my tomato. And you never know the right way to cut a tomato. Cut the top off. Nice flat bottom. And then I'll just run my knife through. And now I'm going to cut up my onion. I don't need a lot of onion, so just cut a little bit at a time. Half a can of corn, and I have some corn over here, so I'm just going to measure it out. Just measure a little bit out. That looks about right. And sprinkle that in. Okay, so now I'm going to measure out about 1/3 of a cup. Gotta mix it. Shake, shake, shake. Okay, now that it's shaken, now I'm gonna measure out 1/3 of a cup. I'm just gonna pour it over. It smells really, really good. Put this over here. You know what, I'll just use this to mix it up. Then you can add a little bit of pepper to taste. And I really like pepper, so I might go a little crazy and add maybe more than what some other people would, but I like pepper, and I think it's amazing. But again, you can add as much as you want. Now that is done and out of the way, and then when I'm done cutting everything, I'll throw it into the refrigerator, or actually I'll place it into the refrigerator. And that way it is ready to go for dinner. I'll put together now my fruit salad. So I'm going to start with cutting up my apple. And for this recipe, it says just to dice it. And next I'm going to peel my orange. I hate peeling oranges, so we'll see how this goes. I always like to make a little X on the orange because I think that helps. Okay, now that I have it peeled, I'm just gonna find one of the spots where you can see the slices. I'm just gonna run my knife through there. And then I'm gonna drain this and get a bowl, and then I'll assemble it all together, and then we'll have our fruit salad. Okay, now I have drained my fruit cocktail and it's all ready to go, and I have my bowl, so I'm just going to add in all my fruit. Also calls for a banana, so while we're making it, chop up our banana. I remember bananas are a good skill to teach your little kids how to peel. Sometimes it can be hard to get them to get going. I know you can peel it on the bottom too. So this one looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks actually really good. I'm going to put this over here. I'm just going to cut off this bottom because it's a little bruised. And also, bananas are good to use to help your little younger kids learn how to cut. You don't have to use a chef's knife like this. You can easily just use a butter knife because bananas are so soft. You just have them practice cutting with a banana and then you don't really have to worry as much about them accidentally cutting themselves, which is very concerning because it can get really bad real quick. So we'll put our bananas in there, and then we've got our vanilla yogurt. Let's see, about 4 ounces. So I'm just going to use a spoon. I'll just put a little bit of yogurt in there. Looks about right. And I'm just going to go through and mix it up so everything is nicely coated. Alright, now I'm going to start actually cooking the Sloppy Joe. So first I am going to add my ground beef to the pan that's already been heating. And just kind of start breaking it up a bit. And then, yeah, that looks good. So now I'm going to just add my vegetables in there right away. That way we're using less pans and everything is cooking at the same time. So it's a lot faster when we cook. And I'm going to cook this until it's all brown. We don't want any pink left. If you see any pink, that means it's not cooked. So we just want to make sure we keep cooking it until it is brown. Okay, now my ground beef looks to be, it's all brown, so it's all good. This ground beef has a little more fat on it, so I'm just going to push all my stuff to one side and then gently see if I can tip a little bit, try to get the fat out. So now I have a lot of the fat off. I'm just going to put that to the side, and I'm going to add in all my other seasonings, and then I'm going to let it cook down and thicken up a bit and make sure that all the vegetables are soft before serving it. Okay, now I have all of my ingredients that I'm going to add to the Sloppy Joes. I'm first going to add 16 ounces of fresh tomatoes. Then I'm going to add 8 ounces of tomato sauce. Make sure I can get the lids open. I have mushrooms here, and I've already drained these, so they're ready to go. I'm just going to add them right in. And then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. So now I'm just going to add the barbecue sauce in. And I just do it over a pan just to make sure I don't spill. And the barbecue sauce will give it some extra flavor. Okay, and finally I'm going to add pepper to taste. And so I like a lot of pepper, so there will be a lot of pepper in this. But again, just add as much as you want. Kind of mix it all together. So now that it's mixed all together, I'm going to let it simmer on the stove, occasionally mixing it around, but I just want to make sure that the vegetables are all cooked until they're soft. Alright, and now here are our final plated versions of the Veggie Sloppy Joe and the fruit salad and cucumber salad. So here's the adult portion, and then here is the child.